Hello, my friends. In this lecture, I am going to prove some of the very important results regarding the collection of all cuts. We are heading towards completion of this chapter, so we should concentrate about these results. Okay. This is our first result in this chapter. 1.421 problem. By 1.412 less than equal to is a linear ordering over R. This has been done in 1.412. 1.412. See here. Less than equal to is a linear ordering over R. This has been done. It means less than equal to has four very interesting property. First is less than equal to is reflexive. Reflexive means alpha is less than equal to alpha for every alpha belonging to R. Second, less than equal to is antisymmetric. It means for every alpha beta in R, if alpha is less than equal to beta and beta is less than equal to alpha, then alpha and beta are not different, means they are equal. Third one says that less than equal to is transitive. Transitive means whenever alpha is less than equal to beta and beta is less than equal to gamma, then alpha is less than equal to gamma. Third one says that alpha is less than equal to is linear. Linear means for every alpha beta in R, either alpha is less than equal to beta or beta is equal to less than equal to alpha. So these four conditions are satisfied. Yeah. This whole result, conditions are condensed, are written as simply as less than equal to is a linear ordering over R. Linear ordering over R. So this is a well-known result. Now let E be a non-empty bounded above subset of R. E be a non-empty bounded above subset of R. It is same thing as our previous theorem. This theorem has been proved in my previous lecture. Here it is written E is a non-empty bounded above subset of R. Here also the same thing is written. E is a non-empty bounded above subset of R. Then there exists, remarkable thing is this, there exists alpha. You have to construct an alpha belonging to R, means alpha is a cut, such that which has the following two properties. First one is alpha is an upper bound of E. Alpha, first property should be alpha is an upper bound of E. What does it mean? I have given the definition. It means alpha is larger than every member of E. Alpha is larger than every member of E. Here, the same thing. Next, another property is that if beta is an upper bound of E, then alpha is less than equal to beta. Instead of alpha, we have we get another. Here it is an it means there can be several upper bounds of E. So if any of the upper bound is this alpha is smaller than each of the other upper bounds. So such a cut exists. Exist means we have to construct it. So its proof is remarkable. Existential proof. Existential theorems are very important in mathematics. There are three kinds of theorems. First one is something is property. Another is existential theorem. And the third type of the theorem is uniqueness theorem. So this is not an uniqueness theorem. This is simply existential theorem. So we have to construct alpha. Proof. Its proof is simple because a lot of work has been done already. So there are very few things we have to prove. Let us take union of E. Union of E in place of alpha. In place of alpha, we want to take union of E. Its property has been dealt in our earlier result. In earlier result says that union of E is actually a cut. So this is a cut. Cut means a member of R. So in place of alpha we can take this set, union of E. Now by 1.420 alpha is a cut because this is a cut. So alpha and this is equal to alpha. So alpha is also a cut. Next. Hence alpha belongs to R because R contains all cuts. So alpha belongs to R. Next. We want to prove this one. Alpha upper bound. Upper bound means first of all take any member of E. First of all let us take gamma belonging to E. We have to show that alpha is less than gamma is less than equal to alpha. Gamma is less than equal to alpha. If we prove it, then a proof of A will be completed. We can replace less than equal to by subset. So we have to prove that gamma is a subset of alpha. Alpha means we have written it down here. Alpha means union of E. Union of E. So we have to show that gamma is a subset of union of E. This is to be proved. But this is clear. How? Because gamma belongs to E. Gamma belongs to E. See here. Gamma belongs to E. And in our earlier discussion of the theorem, we have shown that if anything, see here, if alpha belongs to E, then we can directly write alpha is a subset of union of E. If anything is a member of E, then union of E contains that thing, belongs to become subset. So using that result we can write it here. gamma belongs to A, so gamma is a subset of union of. So this is proved. This is clear. This has been discussed in our earlier lecture. Next. Now we have to prove that if beta is an upper bound of E, then alpha is less than equal to beta. For this purpose, let us take an upper bound of E beta. We have to show that alpha is less than equal to beta. In other words, we have to show that alpha is a subset of beta. Alpha means union of A. Union of A is a subset. This is to be proved. We have to prove this very thing. Since beta is an upper bound of E, here it is written, beta is an upper bound of E. It means for every gamma in E, gamma is smaller than beta. Hence, for every gamma in E, gamma is a subset of beta. Subset of beta. This shows that union of E is a subset of beta. This is not new thing for you, because in our earlier proof, in our earlier theorem, we have given you this figure. Suppose E contains alpha 1, members of E are alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3. These are represented by blue colored sets, etc. So, and we want to construct union, they all are contained in beta. They all are contained in beta. Here it is written. All are contained in beta. All members of E are contained in beta. So the figure, in terms of figure, we can write, we can make this figure. Union of A is expressed by contains all elements of all of the sets. It means green color represents union of A, and union of A is again contained in beta. Again contained in beta. So this is a trivial result. Trivial result. If every gamma in gamma in E is contained in beta, then union of all gammas, that is union of E, is also contained in beta. Contained in beta. This was to be proved. This was to be proved. So the proof of this theorem is completed. The proof of this very theorem. Now we have one more theorem. Let us recall it. This says that if E is a non-empty bounded above subset, then there exists a cut alpha such that alpha is an upper bound of E, and if if beta is also an upper bound of E, then beta is alpha is smaller than beta. So we should remember this result. Next. Definition. Suppose X be any non-empty set. This has nothing to do with the cut. This can be any set. Suppose less than equal to be a linear ordering over X. These statements are similar to this one. X be a non-empty set, is a linear ordering over X, and E be a non-empty subset of X. E be a non-empty subset of X. Subset of X. Let alpha belongs to X. Suppose alpha belongs to X. We say that alpha is a least upper bound of E. This is a new phrase. if the following two conditions are satisfied. Alpha is an upper bound of E, and if beta is an upper bound of V, then alpha is less than equal to beta. Now see here. We have shown here that we have got an alpha, which is a cut, such that alpha is an upper bound of E. See here the same condition. Alpha is an upper bound of E. If beta is an upper bound of E, then alpha is less than equal to beta. Both conditions are satisfied. So in this case, we simply say that alpha is a least upper bound of E. Least upper bound means these two conditions are satisfied. In short, this very thing is written as simply sup E barabar is equal to alpha. Instead of least upper bound, we simply write sup, or we say supremum of E is equal to alpha. Now we have a new term, supremum, or say least upper bound. Both have the same meaning. It means they satisfy these two conditions. Now we have a very easy theorem. Every non-empty bounded above subset of R has least upper bound. Has means there exists. For every non-empty bounded above subset of R, there exists least upper bound of There exists, has means there exists. Proof. Its proof is very simple, because all the non-trivial things has been already proved. Let E be a non-empty bounded above subset by 1.421. 1.421. See here. 1.41. There exists alpha such that which has following properties. There exists alpha belonging to R. Alpha is a cut, so belongs to R such that the two conditions are satisfied. Alpha is an upper bound of E, and if beta is an upper bound of E, then alpha is less than equal to beta. It follows that, in short, alpha is the least upper bound of E. This is the definition. Whenever these two conditions are satisfied, we say that alpha is an upper bound of E. It follows that alpha is an upper bound of E. So existence of least upper bound has been proved. Has been shown. And alpha this was to be proved. So we have a very remarkable theorem. We have proved a most important theorem of the whole of the discussion in this theory. Every non-empty bounded above subset of R has a least upper bound. Every. Remarkable thing is every. Has. These are the two important words. Every non-empty bounded above subset of R has a least upper bound. For example, informally, not every person has a sister. Not every person has a sister. But here there is a very remarkable property of R. Non-empty bounded above subset, any non-empty bounded above subset of R has a least upper bound in R. Has a least upper bound in R. This very property is abbreviated as less than equal to is a complete ordering over R. Instead of linear ordering, which was already known, instead of linear ordering, we can now write complete ordering over R. So, completeness, this is known as completeness property of R. Completeness property of R. Now today we have proved a very, very important theorem, most important theorem. Next, we want to prove this theorem also. This is a very simple theorem regarding plus. Let alpha be a cut, and you have learned earlier that 0 star is also a cut. 0 star is also a cut. It has been shown earlier. 0 star. See here. 1.46. 0 star is a cut. And what 0 star stands for? The collection of all rational numbers which are negative. Means smaller than 0. Smaller than 0. So, that very 0 star is here. If we add up, we have there is a theorem. Sum of two cuts is a cut. Sum of two cuts is a cut. See here, 1.49. Alpha beta are cuts, then their sum is also a cut. So, this is also a cut. And alpha is also a cut. They may be different or they may be equal. We shall show that they are equal. Alpha plus 0 star is equal to alpha. This is a set, this is a set. Here is a set equality. It means we have to show that every member of this left side is a member of right set. And every member of right set is a member of left set. For this purpose, let us take any element of left set. Members of left set are of the form P plus Q, where P belongs to this set and Q belongs to this set. We have written it here. Q belongs to 0 star, it means Q is smaller than 0. Means Q is negative rational. Let us add P on both sides. It becomes P plus Q and it becomes P plus 0. This inequality remains there. This is the property of rational number. We have used here property of rational number. P plus 0 is simply P. Thus we have shown that P plus Q is strictly smaller than P. But we know that P belongs to alpha. See here, P belongs to alpha. And alpha is a cut. So we can apply property number 3, clause 3 of cut. This says that anything which is a member of alpha and anything which is smaller than this is also a member of this set. Applying this clause, we have shown that P plus Q belongs to alpha. And that was to be proved. P plus Q was a member of LHS and P plus Q becomes a member of RHS. For another half, we take any member P in alpha. We have to show that P belongs to this. Remember, P belongs to. Since P belongs to alpha and alpha is a cut, so we can apply condition 4 of cut. This says that alpha has no largest element. P belongs to alpha, it means P is not largest. There must be something which is larger than Q. There exists R such that larger than P, that is larger than P, and R is, there exists R such that, and R is a member of alpha, member of the cut. Next, from here we are applying, we can write this one by the property of rational number. Minus R is added on both sides. So by the property of rational number, this is smaller than 0. This says that this number is negative, and every negative number rational is a member of 0 star. So this is correct. Now see here. R belongs to alpha here, and P plus Q belongs to it here, this. So their sum, P minus R plus R. P minus R plus R. R belongs to alpha and this belongs to 0 star. So we can write it here. By the property of rational number, this will get cancelled and we get P. So we have shown that P belongs to this very set, and this is your LHS. P was taken in RHS. So every right hand side member is a member in the left hand side. So we have shown this equality. This is a very grand theorem. We have proved it down. Now we have one more theorem regarding plus, regarding addition of two cuts. Over.